Mr. Scipione.
Thank you, Gary. Say, can you give me that seat's 10 minutes too? No, another 10. Good morning. My name is Don Scipione. I am a scientist, a small business owner, a civic volunteer, and a reformer. Yes, I'm a rocket scientist, and sometimes it does take a rocket scientist. And I think this job is an example of where you need someone who really understands complexity and knows how to deal with it. When I graduated from graduate school in Southern California, I had a choice to go and make my home anywhere in the world. But I chose to come home. I chose to come home to my family, to my Rust Belt roots, and I chose to come home to make a difference. I opened my software business in the core city. I made a choice to hire graduates and interns from our colleges to give them their first-time jobs. And I've mentored personally, I've mentored over 100 of them over the last 25 years. I've made choices to enter various civic organizations, working in economic development, workforce development, arts and culture, education, international trade. I am a part of Cuyahoga Next Advisors. I know the good work Cuyahoga Next Advisors has done. I helped design the innovation zones. I worked to make sure that the county understood what intellectual property meant and how to couch it in their contracts so that they would make the entrepreneurs and their other partners satisfied that they weren't going to lose their secrets to a public organization. I worked with Midtown Cleveland for 13 years. I'm its longest serving chairman. During those early years when I was chairman, I led the initiative to do serious land banking where we started assembling property. That property that we've been assembling has just turned into the location of the State Behavioral Hospital. It's going to be 500 employees. I helped bring that to Midtown. I helped Midtown work with the county Next Advisors to help build this innovation zone of healthcare. So we're going to have a medical mart downtown and a health technology district stretching out to university hospitals. I was part of that decision making. I convinced our board that it was the right thing to do. I worked in the opera. I was its president for 9 years. I worked on the Workforce Innovation Board. And there, as chairman of the Economic Development Committee, I instituted the idea that yes, we need to do demand-driven workforce investment. You want to be trained, there's got to be a job out there. I helped the city realize that their Office of Economic Opportunity, the community planning and economic development should work together. Imagine. Well, the county has lots of good programs, and my economic development plan builds on those good programs. I want to work with council, and I want to work with council to create another big investment, not the medical mart, not the stadium, not cement and mortar, but a big investment product in people and neighborhoods. Education. Education. Education is the most cost-effective way we can get to economic development. Invest in Children is a great county program. We need to expand that program and extend it to the 3rd grade because research shows that you can do good pre-K, but you get lost and you're back to where you started by the 3rd grade if you don't follow it up. We need to make sure that by the 3rd grade, every student can read, write, calculate, and knows wellness. If we don't do that, we're going to have an endless wave after wave of illiteracy, poor workforce, and huge demand on county services. We've got to do it. It's a 10-to-1 payback on the investment. Another easy piece that we can move forward that is a great program that the county has established is their health care plan. They've got a health care plan. It's ready to roll out to all our local communities. That's going to cut the cost of those communities' health care expenses. It is going to help Metro Health get a better balance between paying and non-paying customers. That's an easy no-brainer. That doesn't take a rocket scientist. And I mentioned the health and technology industry, the Medical Mart and the Innovation Zone in Midtown and Bioenterprise. That we've got to push forward as best we can, and I will be a big cheerleader for that because I rented space in the Medical Mart. I am one of those medical companies that is in Midtown Cleveland. I've won innovation grants from the state and from the national governments. So healthcare, that is a big piece of our future. But the bricks and mortar, we want to replace the bricks and mortar project with a people and neighborhoods. That people and neighborhoods are, one, the early education. We've got to make sure that happens. But two, it's the land banking. The land banking is a great program of the county. So far, it has in its sights about 700 properties. There are 10,000 of them. We need to go after all of those 10,000 of them. We need to fix the ones we can, we need to tear down the ones that we can't, and we need to deconstruct the ones that we can salvage. We need to do that. We need to do that with dollars. We need to do that with a judicial change. We have to ask our judges what laws do they need to make this process happen fast, not 2-3 years, but weeks. So the land bank. Those are my priorities for economic development. Healthcare, education, the land bank. I want to do that in 4 years. I am not a politician. I'm not looking for a career. I want to get this done in 4 years. Let me tell you something about regionalism, too, my vision of regionalism. Everyone talks about regionalism, but it's local regionalism they're talking about. They're how to get the local governments working together. And that's good, and we need to do it. But that's not the regionalism vision that I have. I have a regionalism vision that is global. We need to be a regional enterprise with people who have the same interests, the same values, and the same history. And that means Buffalo, Erie, Pittsburgh, Youngstown, Cleveland, Sandusky, Toledo, Detroit. That's the region that makes sense. That's the region that can protect our greatest resource, Lake Erie, and that's the region that can compete globally. I'm a 60s activist in my 60s. I've run a business for the last 30 years, and so I've somewhat mellowed. But back in those days, we wanted to remake the world. We knew we could remake the world. That fire still burns inside of me. So you need to go to donscipione.com, see what I'm about, join the campaign, and let's finish what we started last November. There are 3 people in this room who were leaders in last year's issue 6. There's Senator Dale Miller, there's Mayor Bruce Akers, and me. I made that choice last year. And now it's our chance. We have the status quo in our sights. Let's not let them get away. Thank you.